Good evening. It is 6:01 on May 22nd. We're here on the second floor of City Hall for the Common Council meeting. Agenda's been posted, media has been notified. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt.
Here.
Stephen Jopek.
Here.
Eileen Daniel.
Here.
Carrie Michalowski.
Here.
Gerald Anderson.
Here.
Thomas Barnett.
Present.
Tom Kelly.
Here.
Leanne Felton.
Here.
Chris Hannes.
Here. We do have quorum. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to number 4, which would be public comment. I have a Caleb.
There we go. Now it's working. Been a minute. My name is Caleb Blanky. I'm here to speak on behalf of myself in regards to the bringing the permanent pop-up to Hodag Park. I sat down with Whit Siasoko and Matt Weiss last week, I believe, with members of Art Star and kind of discussed where something like that could go. And I believe it is in the best interest of our community to kind of place a permanent pop-up at the tennis courts at Hodag Park. It would not cost the city any money other than, I guess, taking down the net itself. The pop-up pieces have already been built. We built those last year. It's just a matter of the skate group moving those pieces and just allowing them to stay there. I believe it will serve as just a temporary sanctuary until we get the actual skate park built. Right now, the group kind of does pop-ups here and there. I don't feel like it's good enough for our community. It's kind of once every 3 months they have a pop-up, and it's not consistent enough. So I feel like having something permanently there will just kind of keep that energy flowing and allow, I guess, it's almost like a training wheels for the group in the city to see how well the kids will actually do having a pop-up there, kind of unguarded and unwatched. That's really all I have for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a Virginia Roberts. Oh,
Library. I represent the library. I'd like to thank the city departments and the council for their assistance and support to the Rhinelander District Library this year and every year. But I did want to bring up a point that was brought up in answer to a question last council meeting on May 8th. The Rhinelander District Library Joint Library Agreement dated September 2005. In the paragraph beginning Joint Library District Board of Trustees memberships terms, the town trustees shall be appointed by the respective town chairman. The city trustees shall be appointed by the mayor, all subject to confirmation by the respective legislative bodies. The second article of the bylaws of the Rhinelander District Library Board of Trustees, titled Board of Trustee Membership, states, the mayor of Rhinelander shall appoint the 3 trustees. Not more than 1 member of city council shall be at any time a member of the library board. This bylaw was reviewed by the Rhinelander District Library Board of Trustees less than a year ago in July of 2022. Please, if you have questions regarding your library, ask. Commenting about dragging the library policy into the 21st century, rather than addressing the council's member on the Board of Trustees, other RDL board members who may be present, or me, was disrespectful and frankly makes me wonder if you've been to or used the library lately, which according to our door counters has had 20,000 people enter the building in the first quarter of this year. That is all kinds of snow, all kinds of cold, all kinds of weather, good times, bad times, they all show up. As you see, I am passionate about your library and the services, programs, and materials it provides to our community visitors and beyond. The library assists people from all walks of life, from the youngest among us to our elders in all situations. People who work remotely here, apply for jobs, look for housing, ask directions, do homework, research ancestors, and so much more. Please do not behave as if your library doesn't matter to Rhinelander. It does a great deal. Just ask your constituents. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a Christy Schneider.
Hello. I want to thank the city for being our financial fiduciary agent as we formed a fund for the Urban Tree Fund. Specifically, Wendy and Austin and Mariah were the face of the city as we quietly accumulated $10,000, and I am in support of the city transferring the money to the Rhinelander Community Foundation for a fund within the Community Foundation so that more people can donate since we will then be a nonprofit. The trees are good for the value of properties in Rhinelander as well as an asset to the tourism aspect of our community. So thank you.
Thank you. Was there anyone else for public comment? Any public comment from the alders? Okay, not seeing. Moving on to number 5, mayor's comments. I have none at this time. Moving on to number 6, city administrator report. Patrick?
None at this time, other than what was written.
Any questions for his report? None? Okay. Moving on to number 7A, which would be the second reading of ordinance 2023-4, special council appointment powers with regards to unfilled positions. You guys should have received a handout. There was a typo because the first reading was amended to 3 months, so that would be the handout in front of you guys. Mr. Anderson?
I move adoption of ordinance 2023-4, special council appointment powers in regard to unfilled positions in the form as was handed out.
Hold second.
Any discussion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Tom Kelly.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to 8, which is unfinished business. We have none at this time. Moving on to 9A, which is an update on Oneida Street project and Timber Drive project. Refer to our Public Works Director, Randy.
So on Oneida, I am staying with our current alternate route. It seems to be functioning well. A few hiccups here and there with rebellious drivers, but overall, I think it's flowing good now. A lot of people are used to it. Next. And this is where we're at right now. The white section is where we are working. We're currently focused on the northern end of that. We've moved up to Frederick a little early. Because big projects like this, there are a lot of moving parts, a lot of adjustments are made. If an opportunity is given to me for us to save time or money by moving into an intersection ahead of schedule, then I will often give that go-ahead unless we had something planned in that intersection. But we have closed down Frederick now. And then in the 30th, Monday the 30th, we will be moving on to Anderson, that yellow area there, just to give you the heads up. And then there's just a few photos to cycle through there. If you're a construction nerd, you love sites like this, especially if you're project manager. When the curb and gutter is going in, that means you are now going downhill. We start fine-tuning the subgrade, the stone subgrade, and right now we are on track to be finished pavement by the end of next week. Please don't anyone jinx that, but right now that is the schedule. Sanitary work on all of Oneida will be done tomorrow. Water main should be done next week, and within 3 weeks we should have all the water and water services connected. And then, if the gods are kind, the intersection will be open at the end of next week. Cool. Timber Drive, a little bit of a different story. I really can, because it's such a wide area, but such a main thoroughfare from Stevens out to 17, it's hard to apply specific alternate routes. So I just highlight suggestions of where people can go. This is going to be revolving at times, but I've had a lot of complaints, and if you listen to social media, I'm a complete idiot.
but I hope you don't listen to social media. But either way, they have started this work. Our biggest challenge there is dewatering. That area has an unconfined aquifer on the top 30, 40 feet, just holding a lot of water in the sand and silty material. We have spent a lot of time and effort to dewater that. If you could go through the pictures, Tara. This is a dewatering effort where they are digging sump holes down into the subbase and they are pumping that water out. We've been at this for about a week. You can start cycling through, thank you. But then it gets to this point here, where we are now excavating and working on the water main. Thus enables us to have a fighting chance to keep the water out of the trench. All the efforts we're making right now for dewatering. But that's where the project's at. We are a little behind schedule on timber already by about 3 days because of all the dewatering efforts. Hopefully we'll catch up to it. I do put a little, what we call float time in the schedule. These are extra days, so that's why I believe we're still on course for the end date to be in September. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Moving on to number 10, which is new business. 10A, discuss and/or action on common council meeting minutes from May 8. Mr. Holt.
Holt, I will make a motion to accept the common council meeting minutes from May 8th, 2023.
Jopek, second.
Any discussion? Not seeing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? Minutes are approved. Moving on to 10B, discuss and/or action of mayor appointments to aldermen for the City of Rhinelander Board of Review City Ordinance. So every year we have to appoint 4 aldermen to sit on this Board of Review. Just bringing it to the body here to see who's interested. That way we could get them appointed and move forward. Mr. Andrews, I'm assuming question or interested?
I'm interested.
Okay. Anderson, Ms. Daniel, Mr. Jopek,
I have a
and
question.
what's your question?
I was already on it. Am I still on it at this point?
It's a 1-year term.
Ah, okay.
So I have 3, Mr. Holt, or, okay. So that would be the 4.
No.
No.
Unless somebody else wants it. I don't want to take anybody's thunder.
It's a 1-year term.
Have I been reappointed or not?
Well, so it looks like we have 5 interested. I mean, up to, okay. So, and just to make sure, is that what council's approval after it, or is it just, how do we do that?
Yes, it's council approval, and I do want to make note that the Board of Review meeting is scheduled for June 7th, which is a Wednesday, and it's 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So if you're interested, you'll need to attend for that Board of Review meeting.
Okay, so Kelly, Anderson, Daniels, and Jopek, does that time work for you guys? Okay, so then at this point, I'm going to make the recommendation to appoint Anderson, Daniels, Jopek, and Kelly to the Board of Review for a 1-year term. If you want to pull up the ordinance, Austin.
So I have the ordinance here for that. So Board of Review consists of 4 alderpersons appointed annually by the mayor for 1-year terms. So yeah, that's annual.
I apologize, must have been the typo.
So, okay, so those would be my appointments. I don't know if someone want to make a motion to,
I will make a motion to accept the mayoral appointments.
Mikulowski, second.
any discussion? Not seeing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, I would recommend that because of the nature of that committee, you appoint an alternate just in case someone would get sick or was unable to attend, so that you don't have to reschedule.
Mr. Holt, are you open to that?
Yes.
So I'd like to make a recommendation that Mr. Holt would be our alternate for this year.
Daniel, make a motion to appoint David Holt as alternate to the Board of Review.
Joe Peck seconds.
Any discussion? Not seeing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Okay, moving on to 10C, discuss and/or action approving the council president's appointment to the City of Rhinelander Ethics Committee 2-01-18B. Refer to Ms. Daniel.
I would like to make a motion to appoint Stephen Jopek to the Rhinelander Ethics Board per City Ordinance 2.01.188B.
Holt, second.
Okay, any discussion? Not seeing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
By Mr. Jopek. Motion passes. Moving on to 10D, discuss and/or action resolution 2023-25 approving task order 31 from Town and Country Engineering. I refer to Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, this is for the Coolidge Shepherd, I believe, project. The city received a grant last year, it looks like, and in order to get started on this and make sure it's ready for 2026, they need to get the preliminary engineering done now. It's not to exceed, or it's an estimated cost of $50,000.
I don't know, Mark, if you had anything you wanted to add.
Well, this is through the BIL program, as Patrick stated. So with this program, it's set up by the DOT. The DOT dictates what year the construction is completed. The design on a project like this is not a typical design where, we design at Oneida and you could be ready to build the next year. With this program, the expectation for the design is about a 2.5-year period. So you have to design it to DOT specifications, requirements. There's right-of-way plats that need to be done. You need to set property pins. You need to get property acquisition and get temporary limited easements. So it's a very complicated design process. So this initial preliminary engineering would start that process, and there would be additional engineering to follow, but we don't know what the actual requirements are from DOT at this point. Every project is a little different, but this would get the ball rolling to get you set up for 2026 construction.
So I believe we got awarded about 1.4 million for surface work. And I don't know if this is more of a Patrick, Randy, or yourself question. Is there any utilities underneath there we should be looking at funding for? Or?
There is sewer and water under there. The sewer was televised. It's deep. It's old clay tile. The water, the utilities haven't been replaced for probably 50, 60 years. Any major construction like this, you should be looking at utilities, but it would be a conversation to be had with Tom Roser and Randy to see if they're in need of replacement. But project like this, they should be considered.
What about from a sizing point of view? Are they oversized, undersized, or?
Right now, so we upsized Timber Drive on the project that's currently going. We have 15-inch on Timber Drive. There's some expectation for some expansion out to the east, and we picked up the Holiday Inn Express. So we upsized Timber Drive to 15-inch on that. The sewer coming down Shepherd Coolidge is 12-inch. So just from a sizing aspect, it's undersized, the sanitary sewer. And I can't honestly speak to the water, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. I don't know if council has any questions.
Barnett, I make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-25.
Is there a second?
Mikulowski, second.
Motion second. Any discussion about the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Karen Mikulowski,
Aye.
David Holt,
Aye.
Eileen Daniel,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Leanne Felton,
Aye.
Tom Kelly.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 10E, we have it listed as discuss and/or action, but I would recommend we only do action and, only discussion and maybe table it for the next meeting. This is regarding resolution 2023-26, approving city employees transfer policy. I refer to Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so basically what this policy intends to cover is when an employee is in one department, these are non-union employees, when they're in one department and they'd like to transfer to another department, say from water to sewer or sewer to streets or something like that. We had no policy. We have no guidance. Nothing exists. My guess is because these used to be union positions covered by a CBA. Well, they're no longer covered by a CBA. So this doesn't happen a lot, but we had an issue with this, and staff we kind of all turned and looked at each other and said, well, what's the policy? Found there was no policy. The idea here is have an attempt to create policy to guide staff, so we do it uniformly each and every time, so everybody's held to the same standard. We don't play favorites. So had a discussion with Mr. Anderson and Mr. Sorensen, and looked, and there was a couple of questions that Mr. Sorensen had on it with some wording choices. So love to have you all discuss it.
Well, I was like in stereo. Mr. Anderson?
It sounds like this policy gives a preference to present employees rather than hiring somebody from outside. And I guess it seems to me there might be times when it would be better to have somebody from outside, especially if it's a supervisory position. Has that been considered in this?
I think this was more, the consideration here was for more laborers, mechanics, equipment operators, those sorts of things. I mean, that's what we were initially looking at, was that.
Mr. Barnett?
Two things. What was brought up to the point where we needed to get this policy in place? One. Two, to speak on Alderperson Anderson's comment, I think that people who work for any company, including the city, putting in their time and doing that, I think promotion from within is actually a really nice benefit to people working hard to move up the ranks. So I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. But what brought on the attention of us not having this policy?
We had an issue with somebody who was looking to do a lateral transfer, and again, we noticed there was no policy to guide or dictate, nothing. So we want to make sure that we do it universally, that we do it the same way, and that every employee has the ability to know what goes into it.
What do you presume that there may be other things like this in the webbing of the city structure?
What do you mean, as far as other people wanting to transfer? Or
No, other policies that we don't have that we should have.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, so there's a chance there could be some, but
Okay.
We'll find them and we'll react as we need to as when we find them. There's a lot of sound policy too, but when we find things like these, we need to make the adjustments.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
And then,
Yeah, the reason that I raised the issue is there's some definitional issues in the document that need to be addressed. It refers to the word city. Well, a city isn't a person. It needs to say city administrator, and also it talks about criteria without laying out criteria. And we really do need to, put more meat on the bones, so to speak. That's what the discussion was, because otherwise it becomes a statement, as Alderman Anderson said, it kind of seems to favor, but it doesn't really say that. And yet, if you did put the criteria, one of the criteria could be, previous experience, previous work with the city. That could be a functional point total. And remember, the goal of this was to have an effective policy, not a policy that created more questions. And that's why we wanted to take it back. But tonight was to make sure that the council was okay with creating this, what would be an administrative policy on internal or lateral hires and and promotions.
Mr. Barnett?
Was a discussion had with the department heads, and how do they feel about it?
No, we, Rachel Pearson and I discussed it internally, just spoke with Mr. Anderson and with Mr. Sorensen.
Okay.
The only question I have is, so this is intended for a lateral transfer. So, you know, foreman to foreman, department head, baseline operator. I mean, is this policy also encompassing baseline operator to foreman in a different department? Because wouldn't that be considered a promotion kind
I
of
think
thing?
the spirit of it was more for moving from, like, say, sewer to streets.
So more of a lateral?
Yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
Mr. Barnett?
So Steve, are you saying that there needs to be some more work done on this before we can pass it?
Yeah, I think if you pass it the way it is right now, I think you're asking for more problems than you currently have. Almost no policy would be better than a policy that doesn't say it's lateral, doesn't say that it's promotion, doesn't give criteria, doesn't say who the person is, you know, just says city. Well, that could be a lot of people, could be council, could be mayor, could be city administrator. I think you need clarity before you vote.
I make a motion to table this until the next meeting, giving time for our city administrator and city attorney to adjust what needs to be adjusted.
Anderson, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Moving on to 10F, which would be discuss and/or action resolution 2023-27, approving the purchase of a 2023 Chevy Silverado. I will refer to our fire chief, Brian.
Good evening. This is just part of the request from last year's budget. We requested it in borrowing. We have $15,000 left in our tank inspections fund, which we're going to continue to spend down. So we take that money out of there, allocate that over, and then the rest will be spent in borrowing from 2021. And this vehicle will be the vehicle that I drive, the vehicle that I'm currently driving, will be moving over to supply the building inspector now. Ryan Berghammer will use that vehicle for inspections, and then it'll be a station vehicle when he's not out doing inspections. That is not a take-home vehicle for him.
Holt, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-27, approving the purchase of a 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 truck for the Rhinelander Fire Department.
Joe second.
Any discussions? Mr. Barnett?
He's going to pay for his own vanity plates, though, right?
Per to smile. Okay, not seeing any other. Mr. Kelly?
Which one are you looking at, Brian? I look at the prices here, 49,000, 54,000, and 60,000.
Yeah, sorry, the first one in the packet from Rhinelander GM. It's the 2023 Toyota Silverado 1500, and the total price out the door is $53,865.11. That's with the lights and everything. They put the lights, the radios, and everything in it right there on site for us. So that's everything. We get it ready to go.
Just to keep everything clean, Mr. Kelly, would you be entertaining to amend the motion to that price amount?
I would amend the motion to accept the proposal from the local Rhinelander dealer. It's a service issue sometimes, too.
That is, yes, it's Rhinelander GM that we're getting the vehicle from.
Yeah.
I will amend my initial motion to recognize that the purchase is coming from Rhinelander GM.
Is there a second? And then please be clear of what one we're seconding. Mr. Anderson?
I'll second Mr. Holtz.
Okay, so we have Mr. Holt's motion and a second for the amendment. So now we'll be voting on the amendment. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Eileen Daniel,
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski,
Aye.
Tom Kelly,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
David Holt,
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Okay, the amendment is now approved, so now we're back to the original motion with the, as amended. Any other discussion on that? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Leanne Felton,
Aye.
Tom Kelly,
Aye.
Eileen Daniel,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Carrie McLowski,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to 10G, which is discuss and/or action of Resolution 2023-28, which would be agreement between the Rhinelander Community Foundation and the Urban Forestry Fund. Referred to our city forester, Mr. Jarrell.
So we've been collecting these funds since Arbor Day 2021, so that's about 2 years. In the city, you had an informational item on your agenda back then, not a decision item, so this is the decision item. But you acted as our fiscal agent. We collected funds from citizens within the city of Rhinelander. In order to open an account at the foundation, you need $10,000 a minimum. So we've reached $10,101, and we'd like to transfer those funds to the Community Foundation. The purpose of the fund is explained in the brochure I handed out, but in a short sentence, a proposed foundation fund to enhance and maintain the urban forest in Rhinelander. I just spoke to a person tonight making a decision on a required mandatory distribution. You can only do that if you have a 501(c) status. And she's been waiting for us to open this account so she can make a donation, and I'd be glad to accept that donation. All the funds will be used and directed by the tree board with oversight from the city council. So with that, I'd entertain any questions. And there's some very nice pictures of the Shepherd family planting trees on Arbor Day. This was part of our 50-50 program where we split the cost of a tree on the property owner's property rather than the boulevard, because we've eliminated so many boulevards. But it was a great Arbor Day. So.
I do have one question, and I don't know if that might be more of a Wendy or a Patrick question. So it's 10,000 to open up or establish this account. Is there a minimum, like do we have to keep 10,000 in at all times?
All right, so
or?
it's a non-endowed fund, and we can spend it down to $1,000. I would hope we would build it over time. A long-term goal would be to have an endowed fund where you're only spending the interest. But right now, it's a non-endowed fund. We can say we had a big storm next year and we wanted to replant a bunch of trees. We could spend $9,000 and still keep the fund open at $1,000.
Mr. Barnett?
I'm just going to ask for informational purposes because I'm really not clear how it all works. What is the benefit of transferring the money from the city to, I'm assuming that the community foundation is acting as like a 501c3 overseer for your organization since you don't have the 501c3 yet.
Correct.
So what is the benefit of having it transferred from the city where it's holding now to the community foundation? Is that like something that has to do with the non-for-profit?
It does.
Okay.
It's a long legal process to open your own nonprofit, and many communities, we have the city already has a fund, a park fund at the foundation. So this would be operated similarly, and it allows someone to get a tax advantage when they make a donation. Like I said, there's plenty of people with large IRAs. Once you reach 72 and a half, you have to take money out and pay taxes on it, and rather than take money out and pay taxes on it, some people donate it.
Right.
So that's the big advantage. The other advantage would be some foundations will fund a grant for small urban areas, but they will only send the check to a 501(c) again. So those are the two advantages that I can think of. All the funds will be used to benefit the city's urban forest fund.
Great.
Daniel, make a motion to pass resolution number 2023-28, approving an agreement with the Rhinelander Community Foundation regarding urban forestry funds.
Hold second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Tom Kelly.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 10H, discuss and/or action of claim occurred at 210 East Anderson Street. I refer to Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so basically what happened was at Oneida Street down by Anderson Street, when they were excavating, they hit a water service, an unknown water service. It splashed up, a geyser of water came up with rocks, sand, mud, debris, landed over on Finland Law's building and some cars around there. So we received a claim. It first went to the contractors, my understanding, denied there because it was an unknown service. It wasn't marked. Nobody knew it was there. So my understanding is it's always been, is this something like this would, this is why you have liability insurance.
Yeah, definitely my recommendation is that the board denies the claim, and it certainly wasn't something the city did deliberately. That's, again, why we have insurance. So we'll look into the claim, and we'll turn it over to insurance and discuss it with them. If you deny it, if you accept it.
Mr. Holt.
Motion to deny claim for damage occurred at 210 East Anderson Street.
Mikulowski, second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I want to clarify. It's the claim of Rebecca Rozier, because it's not a claim for something that happened at a location. It's the person that's making the claim. So just so everyone understands that.
I don't know if you want to amend to add.
Do I need to amend that?
It's just clarifying the record. It's the claim that's here. So I just want for the record to say that it was her claim, not a street's claim.
Okay. Any other discussion? Not seeing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? Motion to deny approves. Moving on to 10I, discuss and/or action utilizing the tennis courts at Hodag Park for temporary summer skate park. I would first refer to Mr. Patrick.
No, thank you. Yeah, so last week, Alderperson Mikulowski came and we had a meeting with Chief of Police Gauthier, myself, and Randy Myram about utilizing the tennis courts down at Hodag Park for a pop-up skate park, semi-permanent, I believe, if that's how I'm saying it correctly. So Alderperson Mikulowski requested that be on here for discussion and potential action. I spoke with the city's insurance agent, Bill Barnes, as it says in the packet, and he said he did not see an issue with it, save for these 5 things in here. Can't charge a fee, proper signage. The group putting it up has to have a detailed plan for exactly how it will be utilized. City Parks Department will have to inspect prior to it opening, and then City's Parks Department will have to go and look at it from time to time throughout the summer.
Since this was requested by Ms. Mikulowski, I don't know if there's anything you would like to add.
Well, that was pretty much the gist of the meeting. This was brought to me by the Overick Group at a One Nation One Project meeting, where it was requested because it's going to take a significant amount of time to create the permanent skate park at Pioneer Park. These kids really don't have an area that they're allowed really to skate. And seeing that Hodag Park, has a bigger master plan already, and that area will eventually be changing. This is just for an interim time. The equipment will be removed by October 1st. And then the plan is to accommodate all of the bullets that Bill Barnes put with. They do, I believe, already have signage from when they used their pop-ups previously. So that's already taken care of. And then, parks can inspect it obviously, whenever they want. The only other ask is that the kids have participated in creating some art that they would like maybe to be displayed on the fence at the tennis courts. It's and that's, you know, we can bring that up some other time too, but it's what their group has created, and it's just, as long as it's a temporary piece, I really didn't feel there was any reason we couldn't let them display their art there, which was under the direction of Art Start. So, but that's a different matter. The thing that I care about today is being able to allow these kids to put the pop-up there, and then it would be removed by August or October 1st.
Ms. Daniel?
Just want to say, first of all, I'm 100% on board with this plan. I do want to make sure that the signage does include something, a skate at your own risk. The city holds no liability to any, because I've tried skateboarding. So I just want it very clear that, you know, we are not liable for any injuries that happen at that park.
Well, it does say that, but then also, you know, there is the immunity with recreation immunity and stuff, so the city wouldn't be liable anyway. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Barnett?
I think this is really a no-brainer. These kids have been trying to get their skate park going for quite some time now, and they've been diligent. They've stuck to it. They have not lost their gusto for it. We have softball parks, we have ball parks, we have BMX park, we have all sorts of different recreational things for everybody except for these kids. And to deny them this would be really a shame on us. Those tennis courts are not being used for anything. There's no reason why they shouldn't be able to use it. So I'm going to make a motion to approve utilizing the tennis courts at the Hodag Park for some temporary permanent summer skate park, as long as they follow the criteria laid out that was before us with the admission fees and thereafter.
Mikulowski, second.
Okay, Mr. Jopek?
I was just going to ask, and I just asked Ms. Daniel this, as far as usage, because that's on the other side of town for me, just making sure that that's not encroaching on, you know, pickleball players. I don't know. Just making sure on that end, because I'm all for it. I want to make sure it gets used, but I just, you know, just checking in on.
Those courts are set up for tennis. So I don't know if somebody plays pickleball. I don't know that much about pickleball. So, but I know we have some really nice pickleball courts down at Pioneer. So.
But tennis players don't use it either, right?
Not that I know of. Mr. Myram had said that he had done in research when we met. He had said that he didn't know of very many people playing it. I'm sure some may. So there may be some interruption, but I don't know. I haven't seen any in my 3 months here.
Cool. Yeah, that's all I said.
Mr. Anderson?
That was my question, is how many people use it for tennis. My impression is not very many, and I think this seems like a good use for the summer. I am also assuming that this use will permit it to be returned to a tennis court use at some future time. Is that correct?
I would think that it could be. Again, I can't tell you how many people play there. You may get 0 calls, you maybe get 10 calls. I don't know. I haven't taken a survey, and like I said, I've been here mostly through the winter, so I can't really tell you how many people play there. I suppose if you guys pass it, we'll find out.
Well, the truth is the schools have better tennis courts, and that's where people go if they want to play tennis.
I would agree with that.
True. Mr. Barnett?
Yeah, that's exactly what my response was going to be, that there are plenty of other tennis courts to be utilized in the Rhinelander area. The one at Hodag Park has been so underused and overused and so old that it'd be silly actually to play tennis on that thing when you have such much nicer tennis courts around the area that you can utilize. So I wouldn't personally be worried about tennis players putting up too big of a stink.
True. Ms. Mikulowski, I don't know if you're still. So I have a couple of questions just from a CYA point of view, and I don't know if this is more you, Patrick, you, Steve, or Randy. So who technically owns those pre-built items? So is that ArtStart that owns those?
What?
The pre-built skate features that were built?
Ramps and whatnot, is that what you're asking about?
Yeah.
I presume some third party does.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not the city. City can assume no responsibility for those. I really want you all to know as councilmen, as much as you may think you don't have liability, you got tremendous liability. And you can say recreational immunity might save you. That would be true if it was built as a skate park. It was not built as a skate park. Therefore, if you read the technicalities of recreational immunity, you're trying to use a facility that was designed as a tennis court as a skate park without having done any research, without done any study as to whether that surface is correct. In fact, I asked tonight what it would cost to turn that into probably a safe skate park surface, because I looked at the surface. It's not a safe, I'm a skater, so I know this. It's not a safe surface, and it costs about $35,000 is approximately what it would cost to cover that surface in such a way that it would provide a safe surface. The other thing you have is you have no training program here in the city to teach people how to safely skate and how to safely use skate park facilities. Now, if you had someone that took responsibility, if ArtStart took responsibility or somebody else said, we'll run the program, we'll do the training, we'll do the supervision, we'll do something of that, that would save a lot of the issues. I'm certainly not against skate parks or skating. Like I said, I'm a skater at heart. But the bottom line I want you to know as a city is this isn't a skate park. If it was a skate park and it was designed like the one that was shown to us and it was built properly and it was built according to specs and all that, that's a whole different game. Just so you understand that, it's a risk you're taking. But hey, we take risks in life, and I want you to understand that, because there's a whole different world when you say, go use this for this when it wasn't designed for that usage, and that's important. It's why people are not allowed to skate on public sidewalks and on the steps of City Hall and places like that, because they're not designed for skateboarding, although kids use them all the time. They use metal rods, they use all kinds of other things. That's fine, they're doing that on their own. You're going to be opening a skate park, even if it's temporary, and you're going to tell people, and you're going to tell parents that this is a place you can take your kids, you can let them go and play, and you're basically endorsing this as a facility. So I feel comfortable with the motion, because the motion says you're going to make sure the Parks Department looks at this, you're going to make sure. I just want you to know that it's not like going to happen tomorrow. You can put a bunch of wooden boxes out there and say, okay, now we have a skate park. Somebody's going to have to go there and make sure that the surface is going to work. Somebody's going to have to go there and make sure that the temporary structures meets the standards of the professionals. And I also hope that somehow you put together a release form or something, or somebody takes supervision responsibility so that the kids that are using it really know how. I'm sure the young people that are here tonight know how to use their skateboards. They've been doing it for a long time. They probably wear helmets. They know what they're doing. But you have a responsibility as a city council. That's what I told the mayor and the city administrator earlier today. So, and that's embedded in your motion, I understand that, but I think it should be out there for the public to understand. So the public understands what's going on. That's my only comments, unless somebody has questions.
Caleb from over it.
I just want to give you guys a little bit of clarification in terms of the ownership of the pop-up pieces. ArtStart physically owns the pieces. The Parks Department stores them. That is all I have for you. I hope that helps.
Thank you. The second and only other question I really have is, when you design something to be a temporary pop-up, is that quality going to last all summer out there in the weather with the rain, the sun, that kind of stuff? I just don't know. I haven't examined these pieces, so.
I wouldn't know either. I don't skate, so I don't really know. But I would assume that they would, but I guess you can't assume anything in this world.
Ms. Michalowski.
I believe one of the bullet points that was on here, and I'll go back to check, but it states that the Parks Department will look at the equipment on an ongoing basis, if I'm not mistaken. So if they feel that a piece of equipment is not safe, they can require that equipment to be removed.
My motion stands.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'd agree with what Carrie just said. It's somewhat of a red herring to ask the question about how long a temporary structure is going to last. Even if something was intended to be permanent, it could still be defective and have to be removed. So that's not really like a logical way to approach that. I certainly support the motion.
Any other discussion? Not seeing, clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Eileen Daniel,
Aye.
Carrie McLowski,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Tom Kelly,
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll be moving on to 11 if we choose, if anyone on council chooses so, to go into closed session.
Joe Peck motion to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85 in order to deliberate on the negotiation on the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public businesses whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, specifically discussing a potential development opportunity which will require negotiations on the investing of public funds or public properties.
Daniel, second.
Okay, not seeing any discussion, clerk, please take the roll call.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Leanne Felton,
Aye.
Carrie McLowski,
Aye.
Tom Kelly,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
David Holt,
Aye.
Eileen Daniel,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Okay, with that, it is 6:53 and we're going into closed session. push that one and that one. Okay, it is 7:04. We have came out of closed session with nothing to report. Moving on to 13, which is future agenda items. Anything anyone would like to request? Mr. Jopek?
I just want to clarify, on the agenda, it mentioned Olson Lane special assessments. I just clarified with Austin on that, and I'm just, for the record, because I did get emails from constituents and clarifying that was, we're good. There's nothing on the horizon, although we do need to talk about the formulas for connection fees. Okay.
That's on me, not Austin.
Well, can I blame Austin, though? Is it allowed?
I would welcome it.
Mr. Barnett?
I'd like to make a motion to direct our city administrator to organize and put together a strategic planning session.
Hold second. Do you have a specific?
No, I
just
think.
a general strategic.
Just a general strategic planning session. I think that we need to kind of lay out a mile log line of what's important to us, what we need done first, and
Yeah.
I just think it would be of a benefit to all of us.
Sounds good.
Any other discussion? Not seeing. All those in favor?
Patrick.
Would you like me to bring back an outline for this?
Yeah.
To present to you? Is that what you're looking for? Or
Yes,
do you want me
yes.
to bring? Okay. Because it's more involved than just one. So
Right.
okay.
Okay, not seeing any other discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Anything else for future agenda items? Not seeing. It is 7:06. Meeting adjourned.